Walls are there for a reason. Brick walls are not there to keep us out. Brick walls are there to give us a chance to show how badly we want something, because brick walls are there to stop the people who don't want it badly enough. They're there to stop the other people. Randy Pausch. My friends, don't let those brick walls defeat you. Keep pushing on. You can do this 10 to 15 minutes each and every day. That is all we ask, my friends. Markets did what we told you they would probably do yesterday. They went down, everything but gold. And I'm trying to remember what our forecast was for gold yesterday. We were bearish on gold, so we did not get that one right. But of course, we would not have jumped into it because it was a green candle starting off. We told you, though, on gold, it was only a 65% chance that it would go down. Instead, it did go up. But let's get into the things that we got right from yesterday. The S&P 500, we told you yesterday it was 75% bearish probability of it going down. I told you, I said, look back. We know what happened when Trump announced the tariffs. We saw that happen last week where the market really pushed down hard, and then again this week. And then, of course, when he put the 90-day hold on the tariffs, things jammed up strong yesterday afternoon. We saw things hammer up 10% or so, and 12% on the NASDAQ. But I told you, folks, the market had already been going down strong for 3 weeks, going all the way back to February the 24th, then sideways for 2, and then hammered down strong starting last week, beginning the 31st of March. That was when that week began, and then this week. But again, as we looked at it, we already had everything pushing down. We had the market starting on the week beginning the 21st of January. That was a Tuesday after the Martin Luther King holiday. Things peaked, and then they slid sideways for 4 more weeks, and then there on the 24th of February started hammering down. So we still had all of that weight pushing things down. As we look at the Thursday candle, of course, on the 2-day chart, it is a red spinning top, still below that weekly trend line. We still have lots of downward momentum, down 4.38%. No surprise there, but again, if you're a bit gun shy, I understand. Not telling you to do anything stupid on your practice trades. And again, we're not a stock calling service. You don't pay us for anything. We are an education firm. I want you to practice trade with us. Let me tell you where we are as we go into Friday, our forecast for the next 5+ days after today's market moves. We are going from 75% bearish yesterday to 80% bearish tomorrow. And we see that, let's see here, we've got an entry point a little lower than we are right now, down to 512.88. Entry points around the 521.25 mark. We expect a move of $8+, 82% back test accuracy. Now, don't forget, what is the execution requirement? Well, that is enter your short position on the next 195-minute candle close if red. Exit when the price hits 512.88 or if a green candle forms. That's your reverse signal. Now, again, that is for a shorter chart trade. If you jumped in at the beginning, going all the way back to that week, beginning the 24th of February, you may still be in writing this down. Remember, we like weekly candles and long weekly moves up and down. And you might say, Tom, I don't know much about what you do, but who makes money when you buy a stock and it or an index and it goes down? Well, we're talking about the inverse fund when we talk about going negative, going bearish on the S&P. And the one we like the most, that we practice trade the most, is, of course, SH. SH is the ProShares single inverse of the S&P 500. Just so I don't have to repeat it again, PSQ, that is the inverse of the NASDAQ 100. TBF is the inverse of 20-year U.S. government bonds. And there's even an inverse fund that is fairly liquid on Bitcoin. That is BITI. So keep that in mind. So that's where we are on the S&P. Let's now move on to the NASDAQ 100. Yesterday, we were 70% bearish. We're going up 5% to 75% bearish. Now, the NASDAQ was down a little less than the S&P today. It was down 4.26%. Entry pointers around the 443.11 mark. That's a little lower than we are now at 446. We're looking at a move down to the 435.47 mark. That's about a $7.50 move, 78% back test accuracy. And of course, same thing, enter on a short on the next 195-minute candle, red candle, exit at 435, around the 435.50 mark, or if a green candle appears. So again, if you're in it for the long haul and you're continuing to ride this down, of course, act accordingly in your practice trade. That's where we are on our two major stock indices. Let's move on now to 20-year U.S. government bonds. Where were we yesterday? We were just pretty much a toss-up, we told you. Didn't have much leading us either way. What did we end up doing? Well, we went down, and I did talk to you about the fact, that we hit that topper last week, and of course, what happened? We just continued down today. And again, down 2.76%. Look at all this volume. We do nonetheless have a red spinning top, not just a solid red down candle, but look at the volume. You can see on the 2-day chart, we just blasted through a rather weak trend line, hammering down strongly, and you can see it on the Wednesday, Thursday charts as we moved down. Where does this take us going into Friday? We're at a 60% again, still around a neutral stance on 20-year U.S. government bonds. Only looking for a move at a little less than $1 and a 62% backtest accuracy. I don't like those kinds of numbers. That does not excite me when it's so close to a toss-up. Anybody can go to Vegas and gamble. I'm not interested in doing that. So that's where we are on bonds. What about gold? Well, yesterday when we looked at gold, we were bearish, but again, close to a toss-up, 65%. Not anything we were interested in jumping on. Of course, now gold has gone from a red spinning top below the trend line to look at that. It's sitting right there on it now, and it's gone to a green spinning top after it went up today 2.44%. We have seen our directional probability go from 65% bearish to, 70% bullish, backtest accuracy of 72%. Jumping in point is a little lower than where it is now at the 291.86 mark. Only expect about $1 movement over the next 5+ days, so nothing I'm getting super excited about there. You can sure jump in and practice trade that again if it sets up properly for you. And of course, the setup would be, like I've said before, enter the buy on the next 195-minute green candle close. Look to exit around the 592.85. So right around, I'm sorry, not 592, 293 mark, or if a red candle forms. Now, lastly, we'll go from gold and head to take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, after, we saw things jam yesterday, we can see where, again, things moved down today, 3.23%. Now, again, as we look at Bitcoin, we see that we have a red down candle. We have a red spinning, that's on the weekly chart, red spinning top. We're already, we ended with above average volume. We're at average volume already. And again, Bitcoin has been moving down for many weeks, slid sideways for about a 3-week period, and this week, rolling over with a bigger red down candle. So we have all that weight continuing to push Bitcoin down as we look at where we are now on Bitcoin as opposed to where we were yesterday. We were neutral bullish at about 60%. So again, nothing I'm going to do much on. Has it changed a little bit? Yes. We're up to about 65% bullish, but that's not making me super excited about Bitcoin. As we look at things, the jumping in points around the 22.96 mark, we're just a little below that now, looking at only an up move around 43 cents and a 68% backtest accuracy. Doesn't make me super excited about where Bitcoin might be going. Still a lot of downward pressure on it. That is where we are, my friends, as we get toward the end of the week. Hope that I know we've had an interesting week. I won't say if it's been a good week or not, but it has been an interesting week. And thank you so much for being with us. We always love to hear from you. If you appreciate what we do, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And again, if you want to get the trading grid that I go through every day with those probabilities, backtest accuracies, entry and exit points, and expected dollar movement, how do you get it? You just go to chartingwealth.com, put in your name and email address, and you will get the email every day with the video, with our show notes, and with our trade execution summary grid for the coming day. And how much does it cost you? Nothing. It's free. And we don't spam or sell that list. That's proprietary to us. Appreciate you, my friends. If you appreciate what we do, become a Patreon supporter. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth.